This is Gerald Brentz, and with Jadon McCullough and Plano Wildcat Football Show. And Coach McCullough, you know, playoff loss to Coppell, a second-ranked team in the state, 23-6. Wildcats made a great effort. It was a great setting, a great game. Just didn't go your way.
Kids played hard. We felt like we had good game plans, and we played pretty good in all three phases. You know, if you say good comparative to how well they played, they didn't run the ball very well. We didn't run the ball very well, and I think that has a lot to do with both our defenses were very good about stopping the rush. We lost the turnover margin 2-4. And then, of course, we had on the kicking game, we felt like we were pretty good in the kicking game, but we did have a fumble on a kickoff return in the third quarter, and the third quarter was a very crucial part of the game. We had a few calls go against us. We had a pass interference call go against us when it was 0-0, so we had some things go against us. But it was a tremendous atmosphere for high school playoffs. 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday, sunny. It's just full house there at Coppell Cowboy Stadium, and our kids came to play when we went into halftime 7-3. The coaching staff and the players, we all really felt good about where we were at. We knew it was going to be difficult. We knew it was going to be a tremendous challenge, but we also knew the third quarter was going to be. We felt like whoever won the third quarter would win the football game. Mm-hmm. We kick off, and unfortunately they were able to take the ball 80 yards and score. They did have an explosive play where they got a receiver deep on us, and they were able to punch it in. We still felt pretty good. It was 14-3. They kick it off to us. Our player receives it about 5 to 6 yards in the end zone, and we're all like, "Nil it, let's start on the 20." And he returned it. However, he got hit about the 12-yard line. The ball flew up in the air, and they got the ball and got a short field and put it in the end zone. Missed the extra point, made it 20-3. We drive back down the field, decide to take the field goal. We still knew we were going to have to score 2 more times. And just weren't able to do it. So pretty disappointing in the end. We did have a good season. Very disappointing just because of the senior class that we're saying goodbye to. Connor Michelson, Colin Brentz, Taylor May, Blair Burns, Marat Kuzu, Kobe Douglas, and I could just go on and on. Clayton Bennett, and just a great bunch of seniors, lots of class, lots of character. And then on top of that, they were good football players. So it is a tough pill to swallow, and I'm still not over it yet. Very disappointed. We put a lot into it. We work 7 days a week. So it's it's very disappointing, and but at the same time, I feel good about the effort that our kids made. I felt good about the game plan that we had. We just you got to also give Coppell a lot of credit. They played well.
Well, I'll agree with that. I was extremely impressed with Coppell myself. I'd heard that they were giving up like 8 points a game on defense, and but when you have a defensive line. Big, tall, physical players that they had, and they had really good linebackers. And then their secondary, I thought, was just outstanding. And you just got to give them a lot of credit. And their big offensive line, I was down there before the game, and their offensive line was huge. And I'll say it right here, I wouldn't be surprised if Coppell doesn't go all the way through it. I mean, I think they've got the team that can do that.
They've got the team that can do it. We're a little bit about their offense. They're going to have to score some points. Cam McDaniel had averaged 184 yards a game, and we held him to 61 yards. I think the biggest thing for us is this: we just were not able to establish a running game, and then on top of that, there were times that we couldn't protect. We were having trouble blocking number 2, that Rice kid. He had a motor on him, and our protection broke down. Connor had to extend some plays, but they're a good football team, and they definitely have the capability to do it. So, you know, like I said, they're a good football team, but we're disappointed because we felt like we had a good enough team to beat them. We weren't able to do it. You got to give them a lot of credit. But, you know, I'm not going to take anything away from our players. Our players showed up, played hard the whole game, felt like we had a good game plan. So not making any excuses. We just weren't able to get the job done.
Well, it was a very entertaining season. You know, you get off to a 3-0 start, non-district, everything's looked good. Tough loss up at Allen. Came back with a big win against Hebron, who Hebron, you know, turned out to be the team that was really in it. Did not quite make the playoffs, but beat Allen later on in the season, and then the 2 losses up in Louisville to Flower Mound and to Flower Mound Marcus.
Right.
And well, you're sitting there at 1-3, and came all the way back on 3 in a row. Beat Louisville, beat Plano East, beat Plano West. Get into the playoffs and lost a tough game, yeah. But Connor Michelson, tremendous player, Marat Kuzu, just go on and on. The Lars twins, Colin, you know, I mean. Just a very entertaining team to watch. I think fans really enjoyed this season. Didn't, you know? And I remember back when I was coaching. You know, we were talking about it here a while back that right after the game, I was always pretty good. Right after the game, it's 2 or 3 days later after the last game of the season that it really started wearing me out. You know, because you start thinking about it and analyzing the game. But Coach, overall, I thought it was a tremendous season.
Well, thanks. And there are 3 kids that just popped into my mind that I'd like to mention. Brandon Hamilton, number 14, played all year, banged up with a sore right knee. Still Hetcher had a tremendous year there at the end. He was a big reason we were able to knock West and East off because he came through when Brandon was hurt. And then you can't say enough about old Clayton Parlin. He made big plays all year. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Arthur Skinner
twins
did an awesome job. Lee Skinner on offense, Taylor May, Zach Lowers, Ben Lowers, Kent Bateman,
Blair Burns, Kobe Douglas, 2 corners, had tremendous. I certainly don't want to leave anybody out.
No, and really, you know, like I said, we've got a good bunch of kids that we're going to be losing. We're going to miss them. But at the same time, we want them to know we appreciate what they did for our program. They consistently showed up. They consistently did what it took to prepare to be successful. We weren't always successful, but they did the work that it takes to be successful. So I really look forward to seeing what they're going to accomplish in the future, and because they're well-rounded young men, and so I'm just looking forward to watching them make an impact on our society.
Well, let's take a look at these highlights. All right, Coach. Coach Ringo and Coach Hughes this time last week, we're getting ready to start off season, and it's tough, and you get in high school football, you get so emotionally attached to the players, and they become family, and now that last meeting after you lose the last game or the last season, there's only a handful of teams that finish the season with a state championship. Everybody else goes out with a loss, or they don't make the playoffs, one of the two. And then you bring them all in, and you talk to them a little bit, and you tell them how much you appreciate them and everything. And then a lot of times those seniors get up and walk out of the door, and it's very emotional, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Well, you just know it's kind of like the ending to a story, and I told them that, this book has been written. Now they're going to have to start over. They're going to have to start a new chapter, and that'll be with their college life. And of course, one day, hopefully, they'll get a job, and then after that, hopefully start a family. And so, it's tough to see them leave. But at the same time, as a coach, the thing that keeps you going is knowing, hopefully, you had some positive impact that might help those kids down the road, help them to be able to accomplish whatever goal that they might have. And so that kind of keeps you going as a coach, just knowing that, hey, look, you're going to miss them, but at the same time, it's necessary for them to go ahead and grow and continue the next part of their life. It's kind of like letting your son go off, and you just got to do it. You got to let them go, and you got to let them grow up, and you got to let them make mistakes. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And the reality is you got to start over, and you got to get going for next year. And so we've already told our kids November 29th, the Monday we get back from Thanksgiving, we're gonna crank it up again. And but at the same time, you do it every year. You do it for not only those players that are participating, but you're doing it for players from the past. So it's all connected. It's one big happy family. Once you're a Wildcat, you're always a Wildcat, and it's a special place. So once you've played there, really it's always a part of you.
Well, and like you said, November the 29th, you're going to start back up, and it's so competitive. Texas high school football, Coach Hughes and Coach McCullough, and Coach Ringo, they've already started,
Yes,
and of course, and one thing about it is with the system in Plano ISD now, where a lot of the 9th and 10th graders, of course, going to move all the 10th graders up now to the off-season program, and a lot of the 9th graders will come too. So you got them now. Once you got them, you bring them up, you got them.
Yes, sir.
And so it starts right back up. You got to get going, because this is a critical time. I want to talk before we close here. At this time of the year, as we going into Thanksgiving week, this time next week will be almost Thanksgiving, and between now and you go all the way through until Christmas, and then of course a 2-week break for Christmas vacation. But really, it's like a 3-week break, because finals is almost. It's hard to. You only have the kids twice, I believe, that week, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a 3-week gap.
To me, the best way to feel good about yourself is to earn something. And that's kind of what we do with our kids. We're not going to give them anything. One of the things we always remind them is championship work will be done here at Plano Senior High. So everything they get is going to be earned. And really, in the long run, that's what kids appreciate. Well,
Coach, we appreciate you. It's been a lot of fun this year. We'll do it again next year. And we wish you the best as we get off-season started here. This concludes our football coaches show. We hope to go into basketball now after Thanksgiving vacation. We're gonna come back and have the same type of a shows with our 6 basketball coaches. So we're looking forward to that. And thanks for watching.